Hi, it's Graham with My Canadian Adventures again, and today we're in the kitchen. Today we're going to try doing something a bit different. We're going to make homemade peanut butter cups with a bit of a Canadian twist. So let's go through the hardware list, the ingredient list, and then we'll come right back here and we'll start making them. The first thing we're going to do is melt the chocolate. Now, I prefer setting up a double boiler for this because you can microwave it to melt it, but there's like maybe 5 or 10 seconds in difference when you melt them in the microwave, where they go from melted to overdone, to burnt almost. With the double boiler, you have a lot more control over the melting rate. As well, I like to use an induction plate because, again, with the burner on the stove, it seems to have a lot less control over your temperature, whereas the induction plate, you can just notch it up 10 degrees every time and really have a lot more finesse over the temperature and the melting rate of your chocolate. The first thing you do is put a little bit of water in your pot. You don't want so much water that it's touching the bowl when it boils. Then once your pot is on the stove, you just grab the bowl, put it on top of the pot, medium or medium-low. You can usually tell that it's starting to boil when you see the steam and the bubbles coming up like this. So just turn it down to medium-low at this point to start melting your chocolates. So I use candy melts. You can use any sort of chocolate you like, but just try to avoid chocolate chips. The finish on the peanut butter cup when it's done is a bit funny. I found that the one big bag wasn't quite enough for the whole batch of peanut butter cups, so I do add in a little bit extra. So this is going to take probably about 15 minutes or so to melt. First couple times you stir, it will seem like it's turning into one big solid chunk of chocolate, but it will melt down to the smooth chocolate that you need to pour in the cups. As you're waiting for the chocolate to melt, you can always grab these mini muffin tin liners and start putting them in the tins. So this is kind of a fun part. We've made these many times, and we found that trying to take the paper off the peanut butter cups is a bit difficult unless you do this first. Take cooking spray and put it inside the paper cups first, and then put the chocolate in. That's like a natural. This is very important now. When you're doing the icing sugar, make sure you sift it. I was in a rush once, did not sift it, and the filling became very chunky and unworkable. It is a bit of a pain. It takes a couple minutes to do, but it pays off in the long run. These peanut butter cups are so smooth if you just take your time and do this step correctly. We've sifted the icing sugar into the bowl. That's 3/4 of a cup. This is about just under half a cup of the graham cracker crumbs, 1.5 cups of peanut butter, approximately 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. 1, 2, and then just mix it up. I like using a cake decorator for the peanut butter filling because it's easier to control and it's faster because the chocolate, it really hardens up quickly. So this really aids as far as getting the peanut butter in the chocolate quickly. It's important that you get a tip that's big so that the peanut butter mixture flows freely through it. This is the consistency that you want with your melted chocolate, and that's another reason why I love the induction plate, is because we've been busy making the filling and this has been melted for a few minutes, and we can keep it on low and not have it boil over or burn. When you take the chocolate off of the double boiler, make sure you wipe the bottom of the bowl, because if you get any water in the actual chocolate, it's going to ruin the way the chocolate hardens. Now you just fill up the cups about halfway. I try and do a little circle for each one. Now that you've got the peanut butter mixture in, just top it up, each one with some chocolate. If the peanut butter is sitting too high, feel free just to push down on it with a spoon as you put the chocolate in. Right before you put them in the fridge, just bang them down a bit. Once you're done that, you take the tray, stick it in the fridge for it to solidify probably about 15-20 minutes, and it should be good. They've been in the fridge for about 20 minutes now, so the chocolate should be hard enough. And there you go. This is 2 pans of peanut butter cups straight out of the fridge. And we just have one more step to make them uber Canadian. It does come off a lot easier if you do spray the cups. You still get the maple syrup undertones, but as a whole, it still works. So that's it for this week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below about what you think of this recipe, and if there's any other recipes you want me to try that really screams Canadian. Come back next week. Don't forget to try new things, go out and have your Canadian adventure.